The 5 best moments in Star Wars The Last Jedi. And obviously this list is a product of my own opinion, and there are some broad strokes in here. If you want to watch my 5 worst moments in The Last Jedi video, there's a link to it in the video description below. Number 5. Yoda. If you would have told me that Yoda was going to be in The Last Jedi before I saw the movie, I would have been super apprehensive. I would have cringed at the idea, to tell you the truth. I would have gone into the theater thinking, oh no. But Yoda was handled really well. A subtle presence, a giver of knowledge, a nice cameo from our favorite little puppet of wisdom. When I first saw The Last Jedi, Yoda seemed really goofy to me, which I didn't mind at all. But after a second viewing and a third viewing, I realized that Yoda is only briefly laughing while he's torching the tree and making Luke realize that his sights are set on the wrong thing. And after that moment, Yoda becomes the stoic Yoda that most of us know him to be. He has some solid lines that will no doubt be remembered, as much as some of the lines from past films. The greatest teacher failure is. We are what they grow beyond. I loved seeing Master Yoda, and I loved hearing him calm Luke down. The moment of the two of them sitting down, watching the tree burn, was beautiful. Number 4. Luke and Rey training. Some of the best moments in the entire Star Wars saga are when things have calmed down, the narrative has time to breathe, and the audience, along with one of our main characters, learns more about the Force and their place in the universe. And the scenes between Luke and Rey on Ahch-To is no different. I loved the way Luke Skywalker was handled in the film. Absolutely loved it. He went to the island to die, hope has been lost. As I've said before, he's a man whose belief system has failed him, so to see him battered and hopeless, interacting with Rey, who is bright-eyed and forward-looking, was such an interesting dynamic to watch. Luke never really truly comes around until Yoda shows up, and even with that, he's never really back to the Luke we know from 30 years ago in Return of the Jedi, which is narratively good. But the moments between Rey and Luke are so well done, powerful light, powerful darkness, showing Rey how to clear her mind and tap into the Force, recounting a one-sided story of why he came to fear Ben Solo, or when Rey goes into the depths, seeing herself multiplied, her past, her future, the endless cycle of life and death. It was all so beautiful. One of my favorite subtle little moments from our entire time on Ahch-To was when Rey is focusing, sitting on the rock, and Luke asks her what she sees, and she says, the island, life, death, and decay that feeds new life, warmth, cold, peace, violence. Those lines of dialogue accompanied with beautiful visuals of each thing that she mentioned was great. Death and decay that feeds new life. I love it. Bury me under a tree. Number 3. Kylo Ren and Rey. We have 2 characters who are lost, who are coming into their own, who are hungry for guidance, who don't really know who they are yet. They are torn. They both had masters, teachers who failed them, and no one can relate to their struggle other than the 2 of them. So the connection that they had was amazing to see. The concept was unique and unexpected. It added a new layer to the Force mythos. I absolutely loved it. The way Rey was apprehensive at first, firing her blaster at what she thought was a physical presence, to eventually her talking to Kylo like a friend, realizing that despite having different views on where things should go, they can actually relate to one another on a pretty deep level. It was such a unique way to connect the 2 characters who come from completely different backgrounds, but can deeply relate. Number 2. Snoke's throne room. Snoke, Kylo, and Rey confronting one another, all with different ideas where the future should lead. I've never mentioned this before in any of my Last Jedi videos, I don't believe, but damn, Snoke's CGI was some of the best I've ever seen. Anyway, I loved how Snoke was portrayed as a character, his speech, his voice, the way he moved, his attitude, but the real meat and potato of this scene is when Kylo kills Snoke by igniting the lightsaber, slicing him in half, killing his master, which set off one of the best fight scenes in the entire saga. The fight had weight to it. It didn't feel like an effortless, lighter-than-air sword fight, it felt heavy, like Kylo Ren's lightsaber was a 30-pound kettlebell. The entire fight sequence was well executed and intense. And when Rey tosses Kylo her lightsaber, and he ignites it, putting a hole right through the head of a Praetorian guard, it's impossible not to give a little "that was kick-ass" smirk when you see that scene. And the power vacuum that moment created by the death of Snoke is fun to watch as well. Kylo wants Rey to join him. Rey doesn't want anything to do with that plan. The entire sequence was visually stunning, fun as hell, and set up some interesting power dynamics moving forward. Kylo Ren is now the supreme leader. He's a loose cannon. He's unpredictable, reckless. And when you have an unpredictable, loose cannon, reckless leader, the house of cards can come tumbling down. Number 1. Luke on Crate. I think this moment will go down as one of the best moments in the entire saga. I firmly believe that. When future generations watch the saga and they get to the point where Luke is on Crate and the twist is revealed that he's not actually there, that will be one of those talked about moments in Star Wars forever. Once again, it brought in the mythos of the Force. Through concentration, this ability is possible. Even though it seemed to have killed Luke, the moment of self-sacrifice from worlds away was absolutely beautiful. Kylo Ren was fun to watch during this entire sequence as well. Like I said earlier, he's a pissed off loose cannon. When he orders every gun to fire on that man, and the lasers turn to the surface and blow it into Swiss cheese, it was one of the best character moments for Kylo Ren, hands down. When he goes down to fight Luke, that was another. And when he realizes that Luke isn't actually there, the look of confusion and anger on Kylo Ren's face was priceless. What an insanely fun twist. As Rey said, it was a moment of peace and purpose for Luke, and a beautiful way to send off a character that we all love. A beautiful way for the franchise to tell everyone to look forward, don't worship the past, don't worship legends. I love it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to watch my 5 worst moments of The Last Jedi, a link can be found to it in the video description below. HelloGreedo, out.